going to be FlipSid. It's going to be mousesports. Mousesports won the knife round, so they got to choose which side they wanted to start on. So they'll be starting on that CT side on the defense, FlipSid on the T side. And so now let's see what they have in store for us, if they actually changed anything up or not. They still have the smoke and Molotov on Blade. And Shara went for the P250 with the smoke and flash. So this is looking pretty similar to what we saw, obviously, before the technical pause in the replay.
Oh, and Markelov with a fantastic start there as Dennis is going to go down over at Ivy. I'm wondering if they're going to try and execute B while sort of running in from behind. That's a very elaborate strategy, and it could fail in so many ways. But at the same time, it would be impressive if they could somehow make that work. But right now, 4 versus 5, Nico is down here as well. He has just got the USP and armor. He's one of those players that will sometimes buy a deagle in the pistol round for some odd reason, but not this time.
Not this time. At this time, it does look like FlipSid want to collapse onto this A site, try and build off of their good start. The nades are going to be thrown in. Those are both smokes used. World Edit gets spotted, and that's the bomb spotted as well. And so now they have to wonder. I mean, they can't fully rotate Speedy off, but Nico needs to find a headshot. And there we go. He picks up one. He gets both. And Waylander and Markelov dropped. And Ivy, Chris J finds a headshot of his own, takes out Shara. And Nico with 3, Chris with 2. And between the two of them, they just completely shut down FlipSid in that pistol round. Nico had me wondering there for a second, though. It was looking a little shaky towards Ali, but then just single-handedly holds the line.
Yeah, and there he is. I have to admit, I think for FlipSid, there was a bit of a delay in their timing between putting down the grenades and actually running in behind them. It seemed like that just took too long, and it bought too much time for mousesports to take those fights. So that was a bit odd, I think, and it is really hard to execute, like fully execute things in a pistol round on the T side, you know? Because as we were pointing out, they really only have 2 smokes. So if 2 smokes is not enough for the A-bomb site, you know? You need more than that. And they just didn't have it. So I feel like that's maybe just actually a bad plan to begin with.
Definitely some frustration, considering they got the opening kill as well. But Nico's there to remove Waylander from the map already. Dennis is going to take out Blade. That's one half of this attack onto the A site stomped. 3 players here in alley for FlipSid. And while there's a crossfire already established between Chris J and Max, they should have no trouble at all to shut down this push when it decides to come through here for FlipSid.
Markelov in there somewhere with a deagle. Not going to get much of a chance to do any damage with it. Chris just tagging him up a little bit. And there's Markelov going down. So Shara and World Edit going to be left here. And it's looking like it will be a flawless round, in fact, for mousesports. So quite good job on them early on here. 2-0. And moving into the 3rd round, not enough money for FlipSid to really buy anything.
Yeah, so it's going to be that round of eco. World Edit saving for the AWP. Rest of his teammates floating around 2,000. Blade makes a $500 investment, or $600 investment rather, in the round. Picks up a P250 and a smoke. So we'll see how they like to use that. Might be just the straight YOLO rush onto the B site. We see that every now and again. Just get that smoke down to block off connector and just run out onto the site. Cross your fingers and hope you can get that bomb down. And it looks like that is what they're setting up for, at least initially here. But there are 2 players from mousesports that are ready for this kind of aggression. Nico holding close. He's got the M4, and then he's also got Speedy there to back him up.
Yeah, and if they try... Oh, double grenade right in there. Look at the damage being done. Waylander out of the round already. Kind of a good setup here. Minimal investment to get a couple of kills in. Nico gonna connect with the spray. Quad kill for him, and the round is done. Nobody even hardly taking any damage on mousesports. And we're straight into the 4th round. This is quick.
Yeah, this is quick, man. This is not what you're expecting, but look at that money.
I do want to point out, because obviously, you know, the desk is talking about World Edit as the AWPer. But, you know, it still pains me to see Markelov without one. I have to point it out.
You are still, it's like you and who, Lurpus, right, Tommy?
Yeah.
Basically, you got the Markelov fan club basically saying, yeah, someday he will return.
He will.
Yeah. I mean, hope springs eternal, Anders. That's fine. You can hold on to your dreams. I won't crush them. I'll let Markelov do that. By never coming back.
We'll see, we'll see. Shara going to be going down early on. Nico, same position, same exact setup, and it works again. Blade, a bit of a clumsy spray, but it works out, but he can't follow it up. Chris is right behind him. And that's obviously going to be good news here, 4 versus 3. See if World Edit, Markelov, and Waylander can find a way into this round. They do need to at least do some more damage here.
Yeah, Waylander in particular. Recent acquisition made by the team. Used to play for Gambit, now on FlipSid. And he can be a monster individually. Actually, we really didn't spend too much time talking about him during the break, but Waylander can definitely do some damage. So we'll see. But it's a 3-0 lead right now for mousesports, and it's a man advantage here. They have quite a healthy nade count as well on mousesports. 3 incendiaries, still have 2 smokes, 50 seconds left, and World Edit finds the peak on Nico, bringing it back to a 3-on-3, and now that means they can get out onto this B site, get that bomb planted. FlipSid, they found a way to make it work.
Yeah, you see the speed that he flicked on there. That's something that you definitely need to be able to do if you're going to play with the sniper rifle. See if the retake's going to be working out. There are 2 Molotovs in play, one of them just being put up mousesports. They still have 1 more on next, and that's going to be critical. They could end up locking up Markolov in this retake, and that would be very important right now. Next, moving a little bit close, still has the Molotov in hand, and there's the Molotov going the high ground where Markolov is, trying to see if he can actually just going to run right past it. That's a great idea, and they will close out the round. First on the board for FlipSid.
Solid work, and mainly from World Edit. If he loses the duel versus Nico, then FlipSid are basically out and hanging to dry.
Yeah.
Whereas now, he actually made it happen for his team. He found that pick that gave them access to the B site, and now this is where it's going to get a little frustrating for mousesports, because they've got their backs to the wall economically. You guys can see they've spent pretty much everything they've got here in this round. And so FlipSid, they have a real chance to get the ball rolling, to just shut down mousesports economically and start running it away. But they are also such a patient team, FlipSid. They don't really tend to go for the rushes, the ultra aggression. They really do like to go for that default kind of hold, sit, and wait, play for picks. So we'll see if mousesports actually play into that, because look at what's happening over by Ali. Dennis and Chris J going aggressive.
Markolov is here just sort of covering this part of the map, making sure that he can at least spot out if they're going to be peeking down here. Maybe hard for him to take too much of a sort of a prolonged fight with them, and he's trapped in this corner, in fact. So if they knew, which they don't, but if they did, these Molotovs they have could make Markolov's life hell.
Chris has now got the angle with that AWP. And Markolov has spotted him out, and there we go. Blade from across the map. Headshot with the AK, shuts down Chris. And now it's all up to Dennis. He spots Blade, or rather Shar, a long distance, but Dennis, he's not really going to be able to do anything about this. And what's worse, that AWP's been dropped on the wrong side.
Dennis really wants to just get this kill back home so they can at least play in a 4-on-4, but it is a big risk. Right now, they're in a bad position, but if he dies, then the round is almost done. Smoke dead by a little bit of time, and they do have the bomb over at the stairwell here. Waylander not that far away with it. FlipSid, they made this B execute work one time. Why not just try it again and see if mousesports are going to be caught off guard? Speedy's on the bomb site. He's very much alone. And Nico, Dennis, and Next, they're not even going to be able to get there in time here. He has to do this on his own, and he goes down to World Edit. Look at that shot coming through. Nico charging in, but he can't stop the bomb from going down. And FlipSid, they're in a perfect position right now. Dennis down. Nico should be soon to follow. 17 bullets left, and he tries to turn around. I think he thought that was going to be a flashbang coming around the corner. Now it's all on Nex, and makes a sensible decision, I think.
Yep. Decides to back off, save his gun. He's on that A site now. And well, there's already a man wrapping around behind him. That's Markolov on the hunt. And so if Nex tries to make the play for Ali, Markolov is going to be ready and waiting for him. But they shouldn't overcommit to this FlipSid. They really should just say, all right, if you want to hold on to your gun, that's fine, because we're the ones building our economy right now. If we keep all 4 players alive, that's solid. 1 M4 going to the next round is not the end of the world, although Nex is going to find the kill on Waylander. Now with 3 players alive here, FlipSid, they really should be just looking to hold on to their guns. Shara is out and hunting right now. It's not going to happen. Markolov, Shara, and World Edit will survive the round. That AWP gets saved for FlipSid. They don't lose too much in the round. But mousesports now, that's what they were worried about. And now they get reset economically. Now they're back down to pistols, basically.
Yeah, and this is a big problem, isn't it? And it shows, it exposes a weakness that's obviously present at the B-bomb side. It helps FlipSid that they got the kill early in the round there. That was Blade, I think, picking up the kill long range. But even then, once you start having a weak bomb site, like right now they're putting 3 men over there, but even in a normal round, you have to wonder, do we have to try and switch up the defense? And FlipSid, if they read that, then you're sort of off balance almost immediately.
I believe Shara heard some footsteps there as well. Yeah, he's going to hear all these jumping noises, so he knows that there's an aggressive push coming out here from Brown Halls towards Pop, and well, nice step out into the open there. Next, we'll find the kill. That gives Nico an AK. A solid team play coming through, and now they just decide to take the fight. Getting caught on the ladder, though, that is so ugly. Nex and Nico, both rifles down for mousesports.
It is interesting, isn't it, that this happens all the time. Whenever the first guy goes down the ladder and you hear that AK chewing him up, it's sort of like almost a lemming-like effect where people say, well, let's throw more people at him. You know, it's got 30 bullets. Just don't do it. Don't keep feeding people to this guy. Well, that it. Got to pick up a 3rd kill. Very tight defense being put up by him. More than half the mousesports team dying there in Pop Dog. And this will be 3-3 scoreline moving into the 7th round. The money from us was still not there. They do go by 3 HEs. I wish there could be another couple of them. So they're going to try and see if they could carpet bomb some part of FlipSide's strat here.
I'm thinking if it's, they're probably going to try and put those into A main. If World Edit is going to show his AWP over there, they might try and put a couple of HEs in there just to get that punish. I mean, currently 2 players charging into A main right now for FlipSide. Good nades going out. There's one HE goes sailing in, a second one, and just the HE's not connecting. FlipSide waiting around the angle, it just makes the HEs completely ineffective.
Yeah, so not much of payback for that. World Edit, similar opening again, just picking up the guy playing by Electric with the AWP. Speedy got one in return, and oh, that almost was a flick. It looked pretty good there. Dennis trying to escape, Speedy going down, Nico to follow, and Chris and Dennis, they just don't have any real equipment to try and do more damage in this round. So FlipSide, this is going to be a 4th round in a row for them.
I think they figured out where Dennis was playing from as well. No, they didn't. I thought he got spotted, but not the case. Shara will still find the kill in the end, so we don't want waiting too long there. But FlipSide now in the lead, 4-3. And this is where now mousesports have to come up with something different, and it is going to be the double AWP setup here. Chris J and Nico, both rocket sniper rifles. And it's a full buy across the board, everything they could need here on mousesports. So it's now or never. Are they going to let FlipSide start to run away with this, or are they going to actually, you know, be able to have an impact here in this first half, mousesports, considering everybody was so heavily favoring FlipSide going into this map? Is it time, Anders? Can Nico take control again?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of going to have to at this point in time. And the setup that was working earlier, it seems to have had less of an impact in the last couple of rounds, but we'll see. Got the AWP, flash goes up, and not really successful. He was pretty much blind at that point in time. Right now, FlipSide are setting up a similar setup as they had in the pistol, in fact, with Markolov and World Edit playing over by Ali. See if they can pick up a kill.
I like that from Nico, though. Just trying to get the drop on a man. And he's still holding this angle, still getting in their face. This is some aggressive hopping, but he is capable of it, Nico. You give him a chance, he probably will not miss that shot. I mean, this is also just so, this is just FlipSide, man. They just love to slow everything down and really play for default, really just take their time getting control. They're just a very methodical team. And this is something as well that you have to take note of. FlipSide, you know, they're still a team that relies heavily on tactics. And so they love to go to defaults and just try and feel things out, wait for that mid-round call to come through. Dennis, though, going to drop blade. That's the bomb exposed as well. So we should see the rotation. 4 players currently on this A site. World Edit will find next. Still, they have the man advantage, now the 2-man advantage here for mousesports. Nico is going to be caught completely off guard by Markolov, charging out from Ali. But yeah, Dennis is there to take him back.
Oh, that looked a bit silly. It looked like Nico had a pretty good opening, but it's not the end of the world. They'll still win the round. They save both the AWPs, and mousesports putting together a pretty good defense there. I think the fact that Blade went down so early on as well, he didn't have any chance to do anything in that push. Just a bit of a shame, because there was no one there that could sort of, you know, return anything on that kill. That was just like, well, we lost someone, we can't do anything about it.
Nico is still nuts, man. Right now, 142 average damage per round. That is what you call an impact player, basically. Guy who's here to get some work done. Well, they tie it up 4-4. And so FlipSide now, they have the money to go for the buy. But again, they decide to play it very passively, very safe. Markolov still holding, but he's still holding so far back, practically in T-spawn, looking for that push through alley from mousesports. But mousesports instead, they look like they actually want to go aggressive in upper halls, it looks like, towards that B side. It's going to be Nico with that AWP. We'll see if he can actually make this work as the smoke clears. He goes for the peak. Waylander going to be leading the charge, and it's World Edit instead to get picked off.
It is sort of ridiculous that Nico has like all of these skills, right? It's not just that he's incredible with the rifles and the pistols, and he's also doing sort of the in-game leading. Just picks up an AWP and is also good with that. It's almost too much. You can't really handle that much, can you? Just in one person. Speedy up on the bomb site, getting flanked as well. Waylander coming back with a really great double kill. Thought for a second he was going to fall to his death there, but manages to recover, and it's going to be Dennis and Chris trying to see if they can retake here. And mousesports, they have to have this round. Chris just walking in, seemed like he had forgot about the idea that maybe they could try and be aggressive. And Markolov with the AWP, which means at least I have a smile on my face.
The question is, does he get to use it? Waylander. Oh, Dennis does not give it away. So he spotted out Waylander. He knows where Waylander's playing from now. Now he's looking for the second man there to support Waylander. We'll see if he can sneak his way all the way through. Markov is going to be coming in behind him, however. There's the go. Peekaboo, big kill. Dennis manages to pick up the 1, but Waylander turns around.
What's the M4 damage again? Is it 96 and 3? That's the
96, 98 and 4, yeah.
90. I think that's what we just saw. That's so disappointing. It's such a good idea for Dennis, and this actually shows you something about sort of a level of mental fortitude, because it's so easy to try and get that first shot immediately. I obviously wish he'd gone for the ultimate level and just snuck down and waited for them to run off with the explosion and then just pop the smoke and defuse inside. But honestly, that was a pretty good attempt. Bit of a shame that he didn't do it, but especially because it's going to put them back at USP and no armor.
Yeah, and double eco scenario once again for mousesports. So just nastiness here. Flip side, they're looking very good, and well, they continue to play the slow, measured style that they've known for. Just spread out, making use of Molotovs in case Nico chose to get aggressive here where Waylander's currently playing in upper halls. And while it is going to be aggression through alley now, mousesports charging out there with 3 players. Smoke goes down. That's just to buy some time, but Markelov will find a kill on Nico with the nade. Dennis is gone. Markelov through the edge of the smoke. Does not allow Chris J to escape. That's Spitty and Next, the last 2 alive here for mousesports. But this is why teams, can sometimes express some frustration when playing against FlipSid, right? Because they just try and make something happen because FlipSid is just so content to run down the clock. It's like old Na'Vi.
Right, and it's probably no coincidence they're playing out of the same region. You can bet that they have, well, first of all, they've either been playing on the same teams together, or they've been practice partners in the region for a long time. So those kind of styles will I think sort of get transposed onto other teams, especially when they're successful. Na'Vi styles have made them one of the best teams in the world, so why not sort of keep doing that? Why not try and see if you can learn from it? I mean, there are different teams that do that. Not exclusively, but I mean, to some extent, Luminosity have also borrowed a lot out of Na'Vi and their slow style. They can switch it up, but I mean, that they definitely have like an element of that. Especially early on, I feel like they were doing it a lot.
Yeah, this is where you have to show some versatility, right? Because Na'Vi used to get punished for that as well, is that teams knew, right, you're going to take, you're not going to push until actually 20 seconds left, so we're going to save all of our nades. We don't actually have to use any aggressive nades to hold you off. These sorts of things, right, where you can get predictable and get punished. Smart in-game leaders will adjust. And, well, nice boost there by World Edit, but he misses the shot. He actually gets tagged down, so now he knows that Chris at least has a scout. But he will find the headshot on Dennis. Shara gets the punish on Chris. And, wow, yeah, okay, this is just completely falling apart in this round for mousesports.
Next, the last one left, trying to see if he could maybe have an impact, a little bit of a say with that 5-7 in his hands. And going to be taking out Blade. I feel like Blade is continuously at the wrong end of these fights. And, oh, great job from Next. A little bit more damage being put in, and since we're only in the 11th round, it's not too bad to try and do a little bit more damage when you can.
But flip side, yeah, you guys can see they won 7. Just a fantastic streak coming out of them. Looking very good. All right, now, I mean, 7 rounds on T side of Train is a very respectable score line. So we'll see, mousesports. Now they get a chance. They actually managed to get a couple kills in there just to keep FlipSid honest, but Chris J is going to be going for the AWP. No double AWP setup. Next had the money, but obviously you want to get a rifle on him. He isn't going to go for that glass cannon kind of play. And it's actually aggression coming out here from mousesports, getting very close to A main. They were expecting, I mean, this is kind of what you would go for if you're expecting some kind of smoke play to come out. But World Ed is going to catch out Spitty, who's trying to go aggressive in upper halls. And now, FlipSid, do they actually change up the pace, or do they continue to just slow play it, take their time?
Yeah, and speaking of Speedy, he really hasn't had much of an impact on really any of these rounds. He seems to be a little bit out of it. And you can have, I mean, sort of on a personal level, you can have a bit of a slow start in these games, but right now, they just don't have room for that, you know? They need for him to get back into the game at least. Otherwise, it's going to be tough from here on out. Just ticking past the minute mark here as we do have Dennis fairly aggressively pushed up into main. Almost wish he'd keep pushing again. When you're a man down on the CT side, you need to take risks. Like, you really need to, because otherwise, FlipSid, especially on this B-bomb side, this execute has been so good already.
Well, Nico stepping in, trying to have that impact. He's dancing right on the edge, and he gets the instant headshot on Waylander. Drops him down, 4-on-4 now. And now, FlipSid, they're going to get bogged down a little bit because they have to worry about him on the upper ground, and that opens it up for Next to have a say. He picks up a kill on Shara.
Blade maybe getting too aggressive there. I think he wanted to follow it up because they knew that Next was taking the fight on ramp. But the problem is, now the bomb is dropped on the high ground there. There's only 25 seconds here. So that one kill from Next could actually have a really big impact on this round. Markelov sneaking a bit closer with the AK, trying to get the one tap in. Next sneaking around, and great shot from Markelov, but he loses World Edit right behind him, and the bomb is up there as well. He can't even get up and down again to put the bomb down in time. So he was going to lose that round pretty much no matter what happened. And that will be a round for mousesports finally.
Such a close call, though, right? I mean, it feels like it's just tit for tat at this point. And Nico, once again, the man to make the difference. That kill on Waylander, it just halted everything for FlipSid when they're trying to push out onto lower onto the site. They're expecting Waylander to have that bird's eye view, control of the upper ground, and looking towards connector, right? If he's dead, well, half of your push is gone, and then you have to worry about Nico just denying the bomb plant forever. Real tough break there for FlipSid. But again, that's Nico's power. That is what he is known for at this point. Impact plays.
I also wonder to some extent if there's like a psychological component that because they know that it's Nico got that kill, they're really afraid to challenge him. You know, they keep sort of delaying, like no one really wants to go and take the fight with him. And as a result, he buys a lot of time. You know, for even just the fact that he stays alive as long afterwards is also a bit annoying. But I mean, I don't think you could blame them at this point. Just a bit scary the level that he's putting up once again. 3 men sneaking in at Ivy, and Chris is going to take down the first. That's Markelov instantly out of the round.
Solid first start there, but Nico, he's going to be able to get that incendiary down. That's going to buy some more time here. Blade actually thinking about canceling it out because he's thinking about the timing. He needs to get out here and have an impact. Actually find that kill. The flash right now just drawing attention. That bomb is still dropped outside of Alley as well, so it's really not shaping up nicely here for FlipSid. They're trying to push onto the site, and they don't have the bomb. Even if they were to get out here, what are they going to do? And yeah, this is just a nonsensical round. This is all over the place.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure what the plan was. They really seem to try and force it. Like, that flash that Blade put in as well. I mean, he cancels the smoke, but then he puts in a flashbang that lies on the ground for like an hour before it goes off, and then he runs out behind it expecting that maybe someone would still be looking at it after all. Like, what does that even, how would that possibly work?
This is this is where it can be really frustrating sometimes to watch FlipSid. Because you can see the thought, you can see something behind it, but then when it just comes to the execution, it just falls flat. And well, it's another one of those situations now. FlipSid going for the force buy. They've let Markelov just sit with the dig. World Edit has got his AWP. He's returned to A main where he's had a pretty high impact with it so far, so that makes sense for him to go over there and look for a fight. Spitty and Dennis going aggressive. And that was Nico as well holding on the lower ground, but Dennis is the one to pick up the kill. So they really could, this is a consistent part of the game plan here for mousesports, is to put early aggression up here in round halls towards B site.
Oh, how did they come out on top of that one? Shower should have been long gone. Blade there to help out a little bit, but World Edit going to be going down. Still a 4-on-3 favoring mousesports, and they do need the last 2 rounds here. I mean, FlipSid already with 7 rounds are going to be quite happy in the first half. So from here on out, it's got to be all mousesports. Bit shocked that Shower managed to stay alive there.
Yeah, that was definitely a bit chaotic. Flashes all over the place, people half blind. Well, at least they remember to pick up the bomb this time, FlipSid, so they've got that going for them. But they're down a man, and they don't have a whole lot to work with. Blade, 42 HP, no nades. So let's see. I mean, they're looking to pick up that AWP, and there you go, Anders. You get your wish. Markelov, he's got the AWP, gets the shot, and he gets tagged down to 4 HP as well. Chris actually looking for the follow-up, but it's not going to happen. Markelov dunks a nade on him. Now it's a tied situation, 3-on-3, pushing onto that A site. They are running low on time, though.
Yeah, and that's a big factor right now. There is a Molotov on Nico, so he could even buy more time if they try and plant here. Markelov picking up a kill there, second in the round for him, and looking for a bit more. 10 seconds left here. Blade gonna go for the bomb plant. Nico, is he in position to stop it? He just can't, and he's finally gonna go through. Markelov looking for the triple, but he's gonna fail that shot, which looked like it should have been an easy one, so that's definitely a bit of a problem. Nico on the other side. Shooting through electric box is not a viable option, really, and Nico gonna be going down. Dennis smoked off and in C connector, not a good position to try and retake from.
Interesting that Dennis didn't try to back Nico there. Push through the smoke once Blade showed himself, but maybe that was communication. Maybe it didn't happen fast enough, and the timing was gone. But unfortunately for mousesports, it isn't going to work. Blade and mainly Markelov. Well, there you go, I guess. You know, you get your wish, Anders. He picks up the op. He gets 2 big kills with it. He basically starts things off for FlipSid on that A site. And somehow, when they're down a man, horribly behind, they come out ahead FlipSid. They get the round on that A site, and so they will extend their lead 8-6 now, going into the 15th round. And once again, mousesports have had their backs broken, their economy.
And I mean, if you look at him, he's top ranking with World Edit right now on his team. So 11-11 for both of them. That's pretty good. Definitely is. But there are a couple of people like this in Global Offensive, especially people who have been seems to have been sort of stars in previous iterations of this game, that they come into it and it really feels like they only ever give themselves like 85%. And the problem is, that's no longer like an option in this game. I feel like that might have worked maybe some time in the past, but now the only people who make it are the ones who go, you know, all in. Then you kind of have to, and I feel like Markelov is one of those players that just hasn't done that yet. And every event I meet him, I tell him, you know, just do it now, you know, do it now. And he always has this, you know, slightly silly smile, like, yeah, maybe. That's why I keep thinking it can happen. I really do.
He's just toying with your feelings, Anders.
Could well be. Dennis, very aggressive here in main. Even peeking around the corner there, Flashbang not really going to do anything to him. He does have a little bit of backup with Chris being behind him. They have a very aggressive setup here, mousesports. I mean, look at this. They're controlling Pop Dog and main all at the same time. The only weakness is down at Ivy when no one's holding.
Steps all over the place right now. This is just a little confusing for Dennis. Because he's hearing one guy go by. Did he hear, well, I mean, is he thinking two guys ran by, maybe towards those brown halls, maybe towards that B site? I mean, it does keep two players fixed here for mousesports on that B site, Nico and Speedy. Not going to be able to rotate quickly over towards the A site. Instead, it's Dennis trading 1-for-1. Shara there to get the trade kill. Chris J holding up close, picks up the 1 kill onto Shara, but that's not good enough. Waylander there to trade.
And they're checking for Dennis as well. Great flashbang coming out, and Dennis picking up a kill. It could have been a double as well. Looked like it was, or actually did get well at it. The last bullet in there. Nico charging through the Molotov, and you could tell Waylander, he wasn't expecting that, but he still picks up a shot, and now it's a one-on-one. 7 seconds left. Marco picks up the bomb, and he can't fake it. He has to hold it down. That allows Speedy to get a bit closer to the train here. Markelov on the other side. They don't really know where each other are. Speedy doesn't have any grenades to try and force Markelov into to a peek here.
Let's expect this, though. Man, he doesn't have a kit either. This is a nightmare situation for Speedy. He needs to find the kill immediately. Doesn't spot the gun barrel. We have X-ray. He doesn't. So this is just incredibly frustrating. Now, Markelov going to win the duel, and that due to the fact that Speedy didn't have Kevlar either. So aim punch instantly, no hope at all for him. Markelov hits the first bullet and pretty much controls it from there.
And it's kind of mad. I mean, Markelov, through more or less sort of random chance, managed to make it out in the one angle, in the one direction. That Speedy couldn't even see him at all, you know? Any other way that he would have gone, Speedy would have at least had a chance to spot what was going on there. That's going to finish the first half at 6-9 in favor of FlipSid. So obviously very, very good start for them. When we go into the second half, we'll see if they can make it back, mousesports. It'll be after this break. All right. Well, we do have them here, World Edit and Christie, and the analysts, they were bringing this up. You know, how is this battle going to turn out? And right now, it is a little bit tricky, right? Because it seems like actually somehow World Edit's done a little bit more ADR. So he's just got a lot of, you know, tags in, but maybe not kills. But it's real close between them, 12 and 11 kills. So still fairly open fight there. The rest of FlipSid, though, really seem to be also stepping it up. Markolov with 14 kills, tied with Nico at 14, but then the rest of mousesports, I mean, they have been getting kills, so you gotta wonder why they didn't get more rounds on the board here. It doesn't seem to be in the kill department that things are failing. I think maybe just some of the, I think that B hold that they had mousesports was just never good enough.
Yeah, and that was mainly due to Nico. You know, you're trying to make the plays, you feel like you have to be the hero sometimes, and sometimes that actually came back to haunt them. That actually hurt the team more than it helped, because when you get the first kill, do you really need to be playing aggressive for the second kill? These sorts of things, right? And so, Nico, he was leading in average damage per round as well. I think for a while there was like 146 or something crazy about halfway through the half. So I mean, he's always having that impact. It's just whether they can actually, you know, build off of that early start that he gives them, or those kills.
Wow.
So
look at how defensive FlipSid are being. They're so far back on the map in both bomb sites. 4 people going to try for a rush in here with Nico playing alone, are they? Are they really going to try and run through CT spawn? Or are they going to try and have Nico come out of Pop Dog? It could kind of go either way. And maybe they'll make up their minds as they go along here.
Chris has gone for the Deagle. No Kevlar. Just saying. Not Nico. Which is definitely interesting. Smoke has gone out. That was Nico who threw it. 2 flashes still here for Speedy to work with. There's the one leading the way. Next, just going charging in. Markolov dancing right on the edge of that smoke. However, he's actually going to use it to his advantage. So they're not going to get a free kill on him, and he could have the element of surprise. We'll see if it works. Blade and Waylander going to work on the site itself, and Blade going to get caught out in the open. Dennis will find the kill, but Waylander still on high from Sniper, picking up frags.
All right, now 2 on 3. Chris with a double kill here, but the bomb is down, and we've got 30 seconds left, and still have Nico in play, and that's what's going to really terrify FlipSid right now, because he's not taking any damage. And none of them have armor, interestingly, as well. That's a bit of weird in the pistol round. Chris here with a Deagle, as you were pointing out, trying to see if he can get a shot through. Caught out in the open and ends up going down to Shara. Now 10 seconds, and Nico picks up the bomb. Is he going to try and run for it? Could he really make that run? He has to plant when it ticks in, and he actually has to go back and fight them straight on. There's the one shot, and now look at Shara. He's running around the corner. 2 seconds left, and Nico can't find him in time. That's a great idea. Nico still picks up the double, but he loses the round. That's a ridiculous way to lose.
I almost want a replay of Nico's reaction there. There it is, right? But for a moment, you can just see him roll his eyes, like the frustration.
Someone could do like well, there's what we're playing for, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. It's all the time in the middle. I like that as well. The players just reminded that there's something on the line here.
$1.4 million as well. It's not a small sum.
No, that's pretty good, isn't it? I feel like someone could just do like a whole sort of a Nico highlight reel where they just have all his reactions from all the, because that one face in particular, it's been there for far too many events, you know. Just I'm trying everything and it's not working.
Well, Dennis is the one taking the heat right now, leading the way, and he will get snuffed by Markolov. Flashes in, completely ineffective, and Markolov with the second kill, in fact. Blade's going to get a chance to shine, though, but not for long. Nex is there to shut him down. And Nex is now the last man alive in a 1v4, but not for long. So, very solid anti-eco situation there for FlipSid. They save everything as well. They don't drop the rifles. They only end up really, you know, losing UMPs, but that's perfectly fine as far as they're concerned. And so they extend their lead, 11-6. mousesports now. Chris is saving his money for his AWP, but the rest of them, it's pretty much just hard eco time here. Maybe invest $200, Nex $200 in a flash to give your team a chance. Or pick up a P250.
Something like that. Every little bit matters, I feel like. How did they possibly get back from this mousesports? I mean, they're so far behind right now. On FlipSid, they seem very comfortable on this map. Obviously, the second map in this series is going to be Cobblestone, which I'm very curious about with the changes, because we are playing with the changes.
Yes, we are. The updated map. So I mean, that's going to be fun. Stairs at the back of Plateau. Seen some teams already, you know, make some adjustments to handle that. Godsent was one of them, where they just Molotov'd it repeatedly, right? You know, so it's interesting. Teams are starting to take note, and so we'll see if these teams here have had the time to actually, you know, take into account the addition of the stairs at Plateau. But for now, in this anti-eco, it's just Blade holding the line. looking for fights. Markelov eventually will chime in, but Blade robs him, and Blade just let the UMP get the kills. I mean, Harosh, yeah, that was good. You did it, but if you got a UMP there, you might want to just let that SMG farm up the money.
Yeah, that actually seems to be small. It is kind of a detail, but it seems like it's a detail that's easily corrected. Like it's something that you could easily sort of drill into teammates and say, just don't do that, you know. But it feels like that happens at a lot of different levels where people will take the fight, even though, yeah, they have something that could give the team even more money. 12-6, so FlipSid doubling the round score of mousesports, and a potential comeback is going to be quite far into the distance. We'll see if they can make it work. Look at the speed here. 3 men down Pop Dog immediately, and World Edit gets the shot. And I think he may have also hit Nico. He's down to 53, so a 2-for-1 bullet there. Still a 4-on-4.
That was wild. Chris through the smoke. He's going to take out Blade, but Markelov is right back at it. Nico manages to make the jump up on his own from the train, and he's just wrecking house. 2 kills, but they dropped the bomb up there. Are they going to be able to get it back? It's going to be all on Shara now. He's alone, 1v2. Chris is low, but so is Speedy. Speedy, though, is going to win the duel. But that bomb, look at where it actually dropped. It dropped up on the boost where Nico was. Could they have actually picked it up again if Shara would try to play for time?
I mean, they couldn't have done it by jumping, but they could have done it by jumping up there themselves, right? Mm-hmm. It is not that difficult of a jump, but I would say it's fairly difficult to make in the middle of a fight, which is what Nico did. I feel like at this point, like surely sort of, you know, genetic manipulation of people, of, you know, esports players can't be that far into the future. I'd say save some of Nico's DNA at this point in time. Just make sure you could build a really good team in the future.
The ultimate team. 18, well, let's say like 17, 18 years down the line. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable timeline. But Counter-Strike has already been here for 17 years plus, so just keep it going. Markelov playing close here. They really don't have a lot of equipment on the flip side. Just some limited grenades here, but if mousesports keep playing this round so slowly, most of them are going to be used by the time the attack actually happens.
They're using quite a few nades early on here. Flip side, but then mousesports have shown a tendency to go aggressive. So you do want to get those nades out there to kind of shut down any early aggression. It looks like we dropped somebody on flip side. Yep, Blade no longer in the server. So there's going to be, that's a little frustrating. Not a single kill, no damage dealt either, and so we might just be replaying this round.
Fair enough then. That seems like the reasonable way to go about it. See, FlipSid are going to have the same problem that they had this time, which was already sort of playing out when we had the disconnect. Again, if you only have, you know, 3-4 smokes, almost no flashbangs, no molotovs or anything else like that, I feel like if you decide on the CT side to play those rounds slowly and defensively, that doesn't make any sense. You know, you should be looking to take some fights early and at least put some pressure on them. Otherwise, you know, what's the idea? Are you gonna wait till, you know, are you gonna hope that 3 smokes will buy enough time for them to fail the round? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, looks like we have a bit of a discussion going on now. Blade has gotten up, walked behind the stage where I do believe Minsik is chilling. Well, he's not chilling. But they might be, oh, right. If he actually got dropped because of Steam, he needs to actually authenticate, get back into it. Right. All right, that makes sense.
You do need that.
Needs to get his phone back, basically.
I've developed a real affection for software that has 2-stage verification.
Tell me why.
Everything has it, except for Skype. Why is that?
Because it's garbage, Anders.
It's so bad. It's unbelievable. I think you can have it if you have, like, if you log in with a Microsoft account, which obviously no one has. So it's very confusing, honestly. I wish that could be a thing.
Garbage.
Yeah,
no redemption
unlike these
possible.
2 players.
Exactly, boy. Good one, bro.
Tied up. ADR again, as we've been pointing out, which seems to be the sort of LAN average for Nico, just to get, you know, 100 damage in a round for some odd reason. But you know, the kills department here, very good stuff, and Markelov. Yeah, I'm happy to see him back, but I do want to point out that this level of Markelov like doing well is absolutely nothing compared to what it could be. And obviously it's clear to everyone now that I can't be saved from you know trying to sell this Markelov angle.
Biased.
So yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, it's not just that there was some sort of love in 1.6. I've seen him do it in Global Offensive, and I've seen him do it. I've seen tournaments where Markelov shows up and does DMs before the game goes live, and he plays like a robot. It's so insane to watch. And I know, you know, you should never like look at how people play, you know, and warm up and then say, oh, they're very good. But the discrepancy between that, and then he goes, you know, you see him playing with the AWP and absolutely wrecking everything. But then he goes into the game, he doesn't even play with the AWP. So why are you warming up with the? There's so many questions. It could still happen. We're going to be back after a quick break here to continue the game. FlipSid and mousesports. Well, we do have the technical issues sorted out, and Blade is back on the server with all of his items here. 12-7 being the scoreline, moving into the 20th round. We'll see if mousesports can, I don't want to say continue the comeback, because I think they've only just got started, but I mean, something has to work out really well for them here on the second half seminar for this to work out in their favor overall.
Again, I mean, what can you really ask of some of these players, though? It's just like, okay, Nico, you're getting 100 ADR right now. We need 200 ADR. You know?
I know what I do want to ask, and it's not of Nico, it's of Speedy. It's just for him to kill anything. Almost a team kill at this point would be you know, interesting.
I don't know.
He's got 5 kills in 19 rounds.
Nico might team kill him at some point.
Just maybe have him disconnect and take him over as a bot, and then have Nico play twice. Could that be a strategy?
I mean, how annoying would that be? You know, spam hold position in an actual match. Yeah, we've all been there in matchmaking. All right. At least now, though, there are just interesting flash attempts there to set it up. Speedy, I think what's going to happen is he might try and leap across. Yep. And bait out a reaction, but a smoke goes up just as he goes for the jump, and so there's no chance here for Chris J to really have an impact unless they choose to go aggressive. They could try and boost Chris up on the locker there, up on the lockers to the left, as you guys can see. They could try and boost him up there, see if he can look over that smoke, but it doesn't look like that is part of the plan for now. It looks like instead, mousesports are content to sit and wait with 50 seconds left on this clock.
Yeah, maybe a bit scary, because actually FlipSid have done a pretty decent job. It's a bit of a shame that Waylander is the one who has the Molotov, even though he could walk back into Z connector. What I'm thinking is, it looks like a B attack, and if they end up having a Molotov left, you can really prevent that bomb for a long time. But Worlded and Ishara already doing a very good job shutting down Dennis and Nico, and that is not what mousesports needed now. And it seems almost like a sort of secondary option. They're going to have to try and go back to this A-bomb site. Waylander in a great position, so even if they put up a smoke here, he could just look straight over it, and that's going to make life really tough on them. Trying to jump past Nex is going to be going down. Good refrags coming in, but I think it's too late at this point. Actually, Speedy doing a lot of work in this round. 6 seconds, Waylander, putting everything on getting that kill. If he got it, they would have won the round, but look at that. Great comeback into it. Speedy picking up a triple. And again,
it holds true.
It holds true.
It holds true. As soon as you call somebody out, then they step up in the round. Well, that made all the difference. 3 kills from Speedy. And I thought that they had it locked down. I thought that was it. It's in the bag for FlipSid. As soon as Waylander denies the initial plant, I was thinking Blade also had a fantastic position, posted up by the train. They all ran past him, and somehow he got nothing out of that, which is really surprising. I mean, it's just total collapse from FlipSid there in that round. It looked like they had everything going their way.
Yeah, and if Wayland had got the kill on the second guy putting the bomb down, then that would have been it. They would have straight won the round, but ends up not working out that way. Now, no armor, just pistols being picked up here by FlipSid. So it's going to be 12-9 for sure. Only question is if Shower can pick up a kill. It's going to be just the one on Dennis. Bit annoying maybe for him personally, but overall they're going to be quite happy right now. 12-9.
No, they are actually closing the gap here, but after the round of eco, not the end of the world here for FlipSid. Now they get the buy. And so we have to see if mousesports are going to try and change it up, maybe go aggressive B, see if they can't try and find an early fight somewhere, an early pick, or if FlipSid are going to be the ones to actually try and take the fight to mousesports. This is a question, this is a round where it's like, all right, oh, there's a hitbox there, or there's a skybox. Interesting. That's how much time Chris has put in on the map.
Just doesn't know. It kind of is a shame that there is a skybox there, though. And actually, there are a lot of places on train where I would say there are some skyboxes that maybe make things a bit frustrating sometimes. But they are there for, I mean, partly they could be for map balance, but also it's an optimization question. So no skyboxes means very bad FPS in general. Dennis going to be charging in. Waylander going to pick up 1 kill, but he goes down to next. So a quick early trade favoring mousesports. Now they need to actually move on here. They're sort of out of the courtyard, but they're not actually attacking any further. And that's going to buy a lot of time for FlipSid to make a rotation in. You could see Worlded coming in from the B-bomb site. Shower still hasn't spotted anyone out here. Smoke is going to fade, and Blade is going to be going down.
What is this? Now it's Chris doing the work. Him and Nex opening up that A site. Still 3 players alive here. All 3 of them on that A site as well for FlipSid, so we'll have to see. When they find the kills, Nico gets flashed in, but Chris J is there to take out World at it. They do spot the man in connector. That's Markelov picking up a kill on Speedy, but that's just, well, Markelov basically left alone. Can he back off? I mean, World at it dropped the AWP. Yeah, there it is. Oh, Markelov, man. Yeah, you're not gonna live if Nico spots you like that. 2 kills for Nico, 2 for Chris J, 1 for Nex. All 3 remaining players there from mousesports getting in on the action. And well, now, I mean, what's going on here for FlipSid? 12-10. They're still in the lead, but once again, they're going to be back down to pistols here.
And it's 4 rounds in a row for mousesports. This is now turning into a bit of an issue, I think, for FlipSid, especially because every other round they're ecoing, right? It's not like they're putting much else together right now. So they need to break this this pattern. And I mean, obviously it'll partly help itself due to the round loss bonus, but still, they're in a very uncomfortable situation. And mousesports, I mean, not impossible that they could make it all the way back here.
We're definitely seeing an excellent level out of Chris J right now, though. Because he is up at 20 kills. He's right behind Nico. Between the 2 of them right now, they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting here for mousesports. But that was one of the question marks coming into this game. What level is Chris going to hit? Is he going to be consistent? Is he going to be missing shots? And so far, he's delivered. So they are still behind mousesports, 12-10, but it is looking good here. Because it's going to be that round of eco here for FlipSid once again. They just cannot seem to get their money going. Established FlipSid. They're constantly having to go back to pistols.
And it's P250 all across the board. I like that, if nothing else, for the symmetry, you know.
Do one of them have the cartel, though?
That's the big question, isn't it?
I think World Edit actually has a cartel, if I'm not mistaken. No, he's changed it. What is this?
To a boreal forest. The worst of all skins. Well, 40 seconds left here. mousesports, they must be able to guess that they're not playing as rifles. So a pretty high level of caution here. Just don't want to run into anything weird. And a great position. Look at that. They were not able to see Shara from that position, it seemed. That's quite cool. Be some good kills coming through, and mousesports definitely going to win the round here.
Yeah, this is set it up. Now World Edit going to get tapped down here by Dennis eventually. We'll find the kill, and so far so good for mousesports. They haven't dropped anybody just yet, although as I say it, Markelov hits the headshot on Chris J, but not before Chris takes out his teammate Blade. Some good patience there shown by Markelov with the taps, but they will save the AWP. That's Nico picking it up for Chris. And mousesports continue to close the gap, 12-11. FlipSid still in the lead. And FlipSid after the round of eco going for the double AWP. And Anders wipe that grin off.
I can't help it. I mean, aside from all the fanboyism, it's a good idea to have the double up setup right on the CT side of the train, and they need to figure something out. So I'm glad that they're trying something else right now. Can they put a break to this mousesports comeback? It's now 5 in a row for the terrorist side, and the scoreline is 12-11 here. So we are getting uncomfortably close for a FlipSid team that was really far ahead, it seemed, at one point, but it's all but evaporated. World-Edit and Shower playing inside the B-bomb side, so not that much of an uncommon setup. Are they going to try for a boost? It seems like they will. I'm not sure they can spot World-Edit from here, though.
World-Edit, though, he was on the train. If they had gone for the boost, they could have caught him. Such a close call. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out. Nico, though, straight Molotov onto that B-site train. And while Waylander just trying to put down that Molotov to buy some time outside of Pop Dog, and he actually gets it right. It's right dancing on the edge. His teammates back it up as well. A minute left on the clock here for mousesports. So they don't need to rush things. They don't need to run out, but Nico's going to find the kill on Shara. That's on B. He's going to force the rotation out from Blade, who's in the connector, to back up World-Edit, who's already on the site. Now mousesports, do they actually commit? It looks like they do. Wow, Nico just doing crazy work. Another headshot for him, takes out World-Edit.
And we aren't talking about just an individual performance here. He alone opens up the bomb site and also subsequently kills everyone who joins it. Markelov and Waylander just trying to see if they can make it out. And I think that Markelov just dropped from the server. I think he may have. That might cause some weird issues. AWP trying to be saved here, but this is going to tie up the scoreline at 12-12.
Yeah, he did just drop, and that's going to make things weird because he was one of the few guys. He was one of the 2 surviving players. So that's a problem. That's problematic if you don't have the M4 that he was carrying. I mean, at least they've got the AWP here on Waylander saved up for World-Edit. But yeah, Markelov, you can hear him communicating with the admins basically right now.
Sure, they'll take a look at that. In the meantime, I mean, oh, Nico, it seems unfair that he's the one to go down there just because he did so much. It's so ridiculous, you know, that the rest of the team were ready to push out into A, and then Nico is like, no, I'm just going to do this on my own, right? Immediate kill and the change of position. Everything about this is so good.
He's so scary. And World-Edit most likely scoped up onto the lower ramp there, so it's just the fact that Nico is able to just hit these timings perfectly. Now the question mark is whether we're actually going to be able to get that, get that rifle picked up here for Markelov if he was saving the M4. No guarantee that he would survive the round, especially considering mousesports were hunting. So I mean, this comes down to an admin call basically at this point. But hey, we have to give credit to Kassad actually. We haven't really brought him up too much, to be frank. I mean, since the beginning, I mean, the analyst has basically touched on the fact that he is now coaching this team, and has recently started coaching the team.
Yeah, and you know, he used to play with Nico, that we could get a little bit of a view on what things look like from him, because he's quite a fascinating player to try and take a look. A great pose as well, why not? But yeah, just mechanically an incredibly strong player. But yeah, Kassad used to play with Nico back in iNation, also with YNK,
exactly.
Everyone's favorite analyst, and also yeah, with a couple of other Emmy and Kingo that people sort of have forgot a little bit about, which I mean, I think it's a bit of a shame. Actually, that team was just a lot of fun in general.
Oh, sick! We actually had like the view of the mouse hand. There you guys go. You know, it's not like the GoPro on the mouse hand, but you guys saw.
Yeah.
Bit of the camera action there. Just making sure. But yeah, he is that good. And YNK, yeah, exactly. There's a history there. I mean, Kassad showing up. YNK also very close with Nico whenever they're at an event together. They're always, you know, basically, you know, talking over mousesports.
Now, see, if I had to choose between, you know, YNK the player and YNK as an analyst, I have to go with the analyst. But it is kind of a shame because actually YNK was quite good with the AWP. Like, I mean, maybe not like, you know, sort of world level, but he had some very, very good games. So maybe we won't see that again. Blade is going to be charging out here, trying to see if he can get close to the smoke and play around it with just a pistol. There is no armor here, and FlipSid, they just don't have anything at all. Waylander going to be going down, or getting a kill, sorry, on Speedy, but gets dropped by Nex and Dennis to follow it up. Still a very scary round here so far for mousesports, losing a few too many players.
Yeah, this is cutting it a bit close. Chris will find Blade, but Markelov with the backstab. Double headshot for him. And now it's on Chris wondering what the hell is going on. What happened to his teammates? There's a gap, and he's looking to try and take advantage of it. Just a pixel. But eventually he is going to have to try and work it in here. There we go. First takes the peek, baits out Markelov, tries to get the follow-up on World Edit, but doesn't manage it. And Anders, you did see Yanko. You did see Yanko. It wasn't too long ago that you saw Yanko playing. I understand why you wanted to remove that memory from your mind, because, I mean, you guys just got beat up, but...
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe a little bit. Not so much with the AWP, I feel like. More with the R8.
Good times. All right, but
what we're obviously going to have to do is try and bring Yanko to the shooting range at some point. That would be interesting. We do have a 13-2 scoreline, and FlipSid, I mean, essentially getting a little bit cheated out of the rifles that they had because of the break, but then they come back with pistols and win it anyway. So I don't even know what kind of conclusion you can draw from that. We're looking at a 13-12 scoreline, and mousesports, they still have money, but Markelov opening up one shot. There's the follow-up, and World Edit going to be going down, and Markelov in the last couple of rounds has had a massive impact on this game. Nico is out of the round, and there's a third one coming through. Markelov hitting the shots with the AWP, and Dennis and Speedy are left wondering what just happened to half their team. They're now sort of stuck behind these trains as well. Shara going to pick up a kill. And Markelov looking for the quad here. He knows where Dennis is, and there it is. Quad kill for Markelov. And that's what we want to see. Dropping now 27 kills and topping the scoreboard in this game.
he's taken off, man, in a big way. Easy 2 kills. What? He hits the no-scope from that range?
We didn't see that originally. My God.
Okay, then Markelov. This has got to be the tactical pause coming in here. Yep. The timeout has been called from mousesports. They get 1 per map, 2-minute break, basically to discuss just how hard they got wrecked by Markelov in that last round. I mean, look at that. Nico even sees it. I mean, he's got the facepalm, full facepalm going right now. Not a half facepalm, not like a happy, you know, lean his head on his fist. You know, no, just straight facepalm there from Nico. Frustration is definitely going to be building. But I'm curious, you know, what happens in this sort of situation? Does Kassad have enough of a say to get this team refocused right now? And he does seem to be discussing right now with Nico.
Yeah, I mean, this is an aspect of the game that is very hard for us to analyze, because it's not just about someone's sort of tactical knowledge of the game. We know Kassad's been playing for a long time, but it's not about that. You know, it is, as you said, it's also about, you know, how much authority does this have in the team? Are they going to listen to him? Are they going to believe and trust in him? And all of these things, I mean, they're very hard to analyze from an outside point of view. So don't really know, and I am a bit worried that a lot of this is going to come down to whether or not Nico or Chris can open up a bomb site. Speedy had a bit of a comeback, but it wasn't enough. Like he still needs more.
Don't worry, Nico. It looks fabulous.
Yeah, so at this point in time, you gotta think about what could they do, mousesports. They've had some good rounds into the B bomb site, and I feel like a lot of those rounds have been based off Nico just getting an entry frag or two, which seems like such a fragile way to approach a round, you know, because the obvious question is what happens if they don't get it, you know, what if they can't make that entry work?
That's what he's wondering right now, look.
Yeah, it's in the back of his mind. I'd like to see...
This looks like some Sherlock Holmes thing where he's like planning out the round, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Headshot and connector. You know,
some part of me,
with flash grenade. Like,
some part of me could believe that that's exactly what Nico's mind is like.
That it all plays out in real time where he just wrecks 3 people on the B site. I could see it. I could see it.
It's definitely a bit uncanny just how good he is at it. But Chris, I mean, we've got to give him credit as well. He's 24 kills right now. And we're on LAN, you know. It's LANJ who seems to be back.
LANJ is here. But between him and Nico, something's got to happen. Speedy as well. Still trailing behind quite a bit with his teammates here. So, you know, we're going through the motions now. We're going to call him out real quick just to see if he can step up. But FlipSid right now, they're on the brink. 14-12. They've got the lead. They've got the edge. And mousesports looks like they want to go and say hello to this B site. They're tired of dealing with Markelov. Thing is that World Edit has been pretty consistent with that AWP over here as well. So we'll see. Will they be able to pull this off, mousesports, or will FlipSid get up to map point?
Again, it seems like we're back to this. Have Nico run out from the high ground and just try and shoot people quick enough that they can win the round. It's been pretty good so far. The problem is World Edit is in the background with the AWP, and they're going to have a really hard time getting rid of him. That smoke is maybe going to help. A couple of flashbangs coming in, and Shara close on the bomb side. World Edit, can he find the kill? He needs to help out Shara a little bit here. Might be an opening on one side, but Chris is going to pick it up, and that's a first kill going mousesports way.
Oh, but through the smoke, he takes out Nex. Bit of a lucky break there for World Edit, but still, that's going to make the difference. 3-on-4 retake now. World Edit, Markov, and Waylander, the last 3 alive for FlipSid. Markov still here with that AWP. Not the best weapon for a retake, but he could still make it happen here. But they really are just playing this so passively. They need to find another kill, and there, Markov delivers. He takes out Spitty. Waylander will find Nico, and Dennis on a mission. He's just going to completely hamstring this whole push. He finds World Edit looking for the second kill. Markov dancing around, and Markov not going to live. Dennis with the 2 kills, but the bomb is already getting defused, and he's not going to make it in time.
Oh, that's such a good play for Dennis. Even picks up the kill, which is almost just adding insult to injury. He could not stop that bomb. Waylander was coming in from the ramp on the T side, and that was all that mattered. So great stuff there, and a great retake for FlipSid. That was not easy. And you can understand why Dennis wanted to wait, because but as soon as all his teammates were dead, the waiting was actually what sort of backfired on him, tragically almost.
Yeah, that's exactly where it just turns on its head, and then you have to make the play happen.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good idea for him to wait. It's just that it was a good idea up until the point where he had no teammates. 15-12 is the scoreline here. mousesports, well, they need 3 rounds in a row to play overtime. Otherwise, FlipSid going to walk away with the first map here. Do want to point out, it's 28 kills right now on Markov.
Yeah, he's definitely leading the way. None of his teammates have broken 20 frags yet, so he's definitely done a lot of work. And in that retake as well, I mean, he got the key frag to start things off on the bomb train. And now we have to see if they can actually close it out here, FlipSid, or if mousesports are going to get a second chance. It's 15-12, and mousesports now, that's enough of the B site for them. They're tired of it. They're going to try and head over towards A. Fresh smoke goes down here from Blade. But with the minute left on the clock, there's still plenty of time here for mousesports to act. They don't necessarily need to take any risks. But that smoke going down so early, they can wait for it to clear before trying to make the push happen.
Very spread out right now on the FlipSid team. They have this 3-man setup at the A bomb site that it can be quite good, but it does involve some pretty big risks. If even one person loses a duel, then probably that will collapse the bomb site. Oh, Nico, that's so cheeky. Just peeking in there, taking out Chara. Blade with a good refrag on Dennis, though. And we are still in a 4-on-4. Blade turning around for it, but Chris with a good peek. Markov picks up one. World Edit. The double-up play still working out quite well, but he's going to get shot in the back end. Now it's a 2-on-2, 20 seconds left. They need that bomb plant here, and if Nex loses his life, then it's not going to work out too well, but they both win the duel. Speedy coming in with a good kill on World Edit. That's going to put us at 15-13.
Somehow, man, somehow, some way, we're going to go the distance, because now FlipSid are ecoing. It's only Shara who has any money at all on his team. The rest of his teammates are practically broke. So what happens there? Shara's got to be kicking himself, because he turns away just as Nico comes around the corner on the B site. And that throws things in disarray, because then FlipSid are worried about that push going on the B site. Instead, then they get slammed on the A site.
I don't think they were counting on the idea that you could see through that smoke like that. That was a little bit tricky. Well, one more round for FlipSid and they win the game. 2 more for mousesports, and we are going to be in overtime. There is still a chance, and especially because FlipSid don't have any money, but Waylander picking up the first kill, very nearly a second one coming in. And Dennis down to 17 health, but they look to be recovering just fine.
Doing fine work, Shara. The last man alive in a 1v4. And he will find one. Not going to get the second, but a nice start there, at least. He picks off Dennis. And so 15-14, FlipSid. They will just have enough to squeak out a bye here, but it's not going to be pretty. It's definitely forced by territory. We do have enough on Shara to get the AWP dropped for World Edit, though, so they do actually have that going for them. Okay. But FAMAS is on everybody else, limited nades, and a very tough situation here for FlipSid to make it happen.
I don't think they can hear me, but I so desperately want to shout, drop it for Markov instead. Give it to Markov. 30th round is coming up here, and from the equipment and just from the way the mousesports are playing right now, it seems like overtime is quite likely at this point in time. Nico been through more than just a few disappointments in his career in Global Offensive. Probably would like to see if he could maybe turn this into an overtime win, because that would definitely be worth celebrating.
That would be huge, and for Kassad as well. Be very interesting to hear how that actually plays out from his perspective. But we'll see. mousesports, once again, with that bait, allowing Chris J to go for the peak. World Edit should not be going for that peak just yet. Look at this, how aggressive Chris is. He's actually just going to go hunting for it, and he gets the pick on a Markov. And now it's all Blade trying to buy some time, but Chris J, point blank, gets both kills to open up this bomb site.
How do you even deal with that? Someone essentially bunny jumping his way forward with the AWP. Wayland are going to be going down. This is all Chris J. Dennis finally going to help out a little bit here. We are definitely going to head to overtime. Shara alone and Chris with a quad kill. Just imposing his will on this game, it seemed. That actually now he's top fragging at 31. This is such an insane round for Chris. Look at this nonsense. I think this is the part. Like that jump there just shows he was ready for it.
Yeah, he was hungry, man. He was like, nope. You're not getting out of this. I got Markov. That's one side of the defense crushed. We know that Blade likes to play there as well. And so, boom, Chris J makes it happen for his team. Tied 15-15 now. And it's so important. Every map counts in the group stage because you're getting points for each win. And that goes on into the playoffs, basically, in the last chance qualifier. But overtime rules, you have them on your screen now. So 2 3-round halves. MR3, 10K starting money right now. And it's going to be the first team to 19 rounds that will win this map. And so we see, as mousesports, they continue on that T side. Flip side, do they change anything here going into the overtime?
Well, the one thing that changes, obviously, now they immediately have the money for the double up, and that's something they've been struggling with. So in some ways, going into overtime with this slightly helps them out a little bit, but not if Chris is going to be picking up kills like that. Again, opening up into the A-bomb site, Waylander down, and look how aggressive they're being, mousesports. They want to get out here quick. A lot of Molotovs being thrown in, and Blade is going down. That's Nico to pick up the kill. Markolov covering a bit of a weird angle here. He doesn't have much of a choice, and missing that shot means now they know where he is, and he goes down to Dennis. Shara and World Edit left.
Well, there we go. World Edit chimes in, decides to have a say. Nico will get the trade kill, though. 2 kills for him so far. Now Shara in a 1v4. No business at all being anywhere near here, because at this point, it's looking grim. You just said it. Yeah, now they have money for the double up. Problem is now, FlipSid, they're going to have to tap into that bank. They have to spend everything they have here. And if they lose this next round, they're going to be ecoing, or just force buying, basically, with pistols and whatnot, going into the last round of this first half of overtime. That is brutal for FlipSid. They have just enough to squeak out the double AWP again, but look at the state of their nades. And they only have a single kit on Blade.
Just the effect of having Chris open up these rounds every single, the last couple of rounds where he just walks in and kills people, that's so hard to deal with if you're on FlipSid. What could you really do against that? Nico going to make his way past. Got to be a bit careful.
Shower is playing as well, right?
Yeah. Not a fun time.
Oh, but it's so refreshing to see Chris hitting this kind of level. Shara just can't catch a break. He can catch nades, but that's not what you're supposed to be doing over there. 50 damage to the face.
Maybe he's been listening to Bruno Mars for a little bit too long. Oh. I was looking at you slowly.
Processing that.
Yeah. Speedy is a bit low though, so the early damage slightly favoring mousesports, down to 16 health. But this current setup again, I am almost shocked that mousesports have managed to punish this 3 A-bomb site setup, because it does have some inherent risks to it. But so far it's kind of worked out for FlipSid.
Oh, shots. They're going out. There's the first shot. Markolov calling it out. Blade just spraying through the smoke. Markolov finds a kill on Spitty. Nico will bring it back with a kill on Waylander, but the damage is done. World Edit is going to find Nico, and it's a 2-on-4 scenario now. Nex and Chris J, the last 2 alive, and Nex picking up 2 kills with 25 seconds left. Nico, while Chris is now in a 1v2 clutch.
20 seconds as well, and that's going to be the shot from Shara. Good double kill for him. We'll make it 16-16. Very risky round there for FlipSid, but it does work out.
And Blade, man, bit of a lucky break for him, actually getting that kill, that spray through the smoke. He was blind. It was all on Markolov to call and communicate to his teammate as quickly as possible that the push was coming in. And Nex doing some work there, making it interesting. Unfortunately for mousesports, they lost a bit of a chance there to actually just crush FlipSid. Because now FlipSid, they save both ops, they'll be able to drop rifles over, and they actually have a very healthy buy going into the last round of the first half here.
Like there's a lot of shouting going on in the studio all of a sudden. I think there is a level of intensity suddenly in this game. They're both feeling it right now. Both teams' scoreline is tied at 16-16. Nico flash into a jump, into a peek, all looking relatively smooth. And the same 2-3 setup that we see for almost every round here for FlipSid.
This is their standard, isn't it? Shara holding close. He's not as close, though, so there's a little bit of a difference here, an adjustment made. So he'll be dancing behind that bomb site. Looks like a full Molotov round coming out, though, and Shara, he's just getting toasted down to 20 HP. Falls back, and now it's World Edit. first line of defense, and Nex finds him.
Very exposed up on that mid train, and Dennis, well, just blind shot through Shara, as you were pointing out, already low from all the Molotovs early on. They obviously have to go for this retake, but if they didn't, if this wasn't the last round of the first half of overtime, say just save these rifles because you can't really do anything else, but they're gonna have to go and fight for it. Waylander, bit of a misclick there, not a time to unsilence the weapon, and just a lot of people picking him at the same time. Blade with a good shot on Chris, and Markelov picking up a kill on Nex, but it seems like it should be too late. Blade up on the train, and Nico in an unlikely position goes down to Markelov, who's hitting some really good shots with the AWP, but there's just no time. So even if you find one of the kills here, it's not going to be enough. And Speedy, all he has to do is hide. It's already too late. Oh, wow. If we could see that in slow motion, that went right over his shoulder.
Oh, if only he'd had like 2 seconds. If he hits that shot and he has like 2 seconds more on the clock, that would be one of the sickest clutch rounds that we'd have seen in a long time. Because, yeah, he's all the way up, and he hits that. That's a fairly straightforward shot onto Dennis, but this one here, boom, like right over the shoulder.
So ridiculous. Well, I mean, great first half of overtime from mousesports. Got to give them credit here. I mean, think about the comeback they had to get, what, 6 rounds in a row, something like that, to get into overtime, more or less. Maybe it was like 7-1 at the end or something like that. But either way, pretty rough road to get back in. Now they're just 2 rounds away from winning it.
And now we have to see if mousesports with their double AWP setup is going to be effective. Can they just lock things out versus FlipSid here? I mean, right now, the way they're shaping up, are they going to try and go aggressive? Chris J was trying to force it in alley quite a bit in regulation, so that could be an option. World Edit going straight back to T main. That was standard for him as well. Even eating some nades.
A little bit of damage being put in. That one HE is actually so much better than almost all the rest of them that have been thrown into main because it doesn't get trapped in the corner, which seems to happen a lot, that sort of all the damage gets absorbed in that one corner, but this one bounced off the wall, so I kind of like that. Flash going out quick, but the early kill going in favor of mousesports. I've got to leave FlipSid a little bit worried.
Yeah, they're going to be grasping at this point. Chris continues to deliver here for his team. Another kill on World Edit. 2-man advantage now for mousesports, and it will eventually wind up on the A side, it looks like, although that bomb once again dropped all the way in the back. It's going to get picked up by Blade.
Do it.
And there we go. Markelov lurks his way out, takes out Nico. Now the pressure is on, but Nex is there to shut down Waylander at Pop Dog. Now it's Markelov and Blade, last 2 alive here for FlipSid.
It's such a shame because that play for Markelov could pay out so massively if there was a fight going on at A, or if the bomb was down, or really almost anything. But the fact that almost all of his team is gone means it has really almost no impact on the round at all, sadly. So that's going to make it 18-16 now. It is map point for mousesports. They just need 1 more. And we've got to say, if they do this, that's a pretty good comeback. That's not easy.
No, this is a fantastic start, and it's going to, I mean, it's just going to completely wreck FlipSid's mental game going into that second map.
Yeah.
So this is the heat is on now. Can FlipSid force the second round of overtime for this first map here, or can mousesports close it out? We find out now. I mean, FlipSid once again, man, they are just so dedicated to the slow, steady pick style approach. Once again, it's just drop that bomb practically in T spawn. So you're not going to try and push onto a side anytime soon. You're just saying we're going straight default, nothing fancy.
Nico looking for
Wishful thinking?
Wishful thinking, yeah, I do. I feel like it's been so long since I've seen VODs play. I don't know why that is. But he was at that ramp where he's been playing so much with Speedy. They've had that sort of double setup down there. Now he's fallen all the way back, and he's kind of expecting Markov maybe to make a similar play, because he's having a very defensive hold of Ivy, if you could even call it that at this point in time.
It's just wild. A minute has gone past. Okay, so take stock of the situation. Waylander has pushed into the upper halls towards B. Still hasn't cleared out the full angle towards upper, it looks like, but he will make that happen now. FlipSid rotating over, but Dennis still hanging around in A main means that FlipSid have to waste valuable time walking all over the place to try and deny the info, the audio info. But FlipSid eventually will actually just try and make the play onto B site, and it's going to come down to Speedy. Chris J starts things off. He picks off Blade. That was at Pop Dog. And the rotation, now Dennis hears the rotation in the halls, and so instantly mousesports head over towards that B site, and life's about to get real difficult here for FlipSid.
if not impossible, because Dennis is right behind them now. He's just been running the whole way. World Edit picking up 2 great kills. They might have had a chance, but Dennis going to be... Oh, Markelov turning around and picking up that kill. World Edit will be going down, but the bomb is planted. They do not have a smoke, so they cannot cancel the Molotov. If Markelov manages to put it off, but he won't. Chris going to take him out, and it seems only fitting. That's going to give mousesports the map win here. 35 kills for both Chris and Markelov. And that will be the game. What a crazy map to start off with here.
Absolutely. Overtime between both of these teams. They're both so even. But for Chris and Nico both to show up in such a huge way, Chris J as well.
Yeah.
Who's been, I mean, just up and down, it seems, for quite some time. Now he shows up on land and he just goes to town.
And I mean, it does say something looking at the scoreboard here. The second on the scoreboard for mousesports is Nico at 32. Down from 35 for Chris, but the second on FlipSid is 24 on World Edit. So Markelov maybe needed a little bit more backup here. What a crazy game it was, and we'll have the full breakdown right after the break.
Just the one overtime this time, it seems. A close one there between mousesports and FlipSid, but it's the German team that came back and wins the map out. And, you know, there was lots to talk about, obviously, when a match runs that long. I've got a couple of points. Do you want to start with the good or the bad?
The bad.
Okay.
Okay.
Moses very decisive on that one.
Okay. The bad, sir, please. Tell me what was wrong.
So here we go. I've said this numerous times about mousesports. I'm going to say it again. It does feel at times like their player Spiddy is so far off the pace of the rest of the team, he is becoming an impediment. And when you think about Tabson was a free agent, and Tabson was somebody I said, hey, he might be a good fit at mousesports. He came into NRG and was their standout player in the week they played. Just phenomenal across the board. What's going on, guys? Explain it to me.
I mean, I said, to me, the talent's on the side of mousesports. So, okay, 2 of the FlipSid players had a very poor game, actually. Blade, you don't expect much from him, didn't have much. Shara, quite a poor game. Despite that, it was actually Spiddy who was the anchor of the whole game for most of it. He didn't really get into kills until late on in the game. And you have to feel like, if it wasn't for Nex, pretty good game. Chris J, very good game. Nico, classically good game. If 3 of their players didn't really put up big numbers, I think this is a FlipSid win in regulation.
Yeah, and also, I mean, it's just crazy to look at the box score and see that, you know, like you said, Nico and Chris J both have over 30 kills. Dennis and Nex have high 20s. And on the flip side, it's only Markelov with 35. Everyone other than that is you know, at best, low 20s. So it's actually insane to me that there's that much, you know, productivity on the side of mousesports, and it still went into overtime. And I think that just speaks worlds to the tactics that were brought in by FlipSid. But, you know, we questioned Chris J a lot, and rightly so, which one was going to show up. But this is one of his beast mode performances. He carried this team, especially down the stretch.
No doubt about it. And you can see here, we talked about this is the jewel we highlighted right at the top of the series. And he came up in a big way for his team, Chris J, and delivered a consistent performance.
And a lot of it on the T side as well, entries as well. One of the key like shifts in this game that I felt gave Mouse the win is the first half from FlipSid was great stuff on CT side. They were looking so dominant there. They managed to get the game right back in control with a great half overall, but they lost the game essentially playing CT side in overtime and at the end of the game. You look at the way that went. Okay, their initial defense was good, but once Mouse adapted, I don't know if it was just natural play from how Chris J was getting the entries or whether Kassad had some sort of input on this, reading the game. There wasn't really the reaction, though. Like, they still played this very passive setup in the sites for the guys from FlipSid where they play really far back, but they don't cover all the angles. And you see mousesports players, they just took up space, they came in and they would get in between players, and that's where they really caused a lot of havoc.
Well, let's take a look at Chris J in action. We picked out this round here. I think this is the 30th round. We took it to overtime. And Chris J just ridiculous. So he jumping around, using his movement. And this is what he looks like when he's on. We haven't seen this a lot in 2016.
Well, this is the confidence. I mean, look at how aggressive that peak is. That says that confidence that we were questioning whether he was going to have it in this match. We talked about, you know, even he's admitted that he's had troubles with it, but this time to make a play like that, to lead the way down alley, down Ivy with an AWP, and then have that kind of decisiveness to peek both sides, that's huge for his team. Because it was a lot of it in the regulation was Nico making plays to put his team into rounds, to put him in position to win it, and then at a certain point it just clicked, and we finally saw Chris J. He's always had those matches where he's an effective offer, but this is one of the rare times where we see him desire to take over the game.
I remember one round, because obviously Nico had a quiet 32 kills there and 94 ADR because Chris J was getting the highlight shots. I remember one key round when it was CT, I think it was actually on the overtime session. FlipSid, I think it was World Edit, had the bomb train locked down. He knew Nico had gotten onto the bomb train, but he was just sitting there with the AWP waiting for a peek, okay? And Nico literally just peeks out and one-taps him in the head with the bullet. Like, the guy had full health, he had armor, he had his AWP. He's just waiting to take the shot. And in that sort of shot, you're probably even going to go a little bit slower and ensure you land it. If someone can step out and just take you out like that, delete you from the map, yeah, they can just take over the game.
And an evergreen performance by Markelov worth highlighting as well.
Yeah.
Nostalgic.
Well, look, we talked about Markelov a lot and his transformation, how he's a support player in this lineup. He did vaguely hint after Columbus about how he'd pick up the AWP again. World Edit's obviously...
He likes to tease.
Yeah, World Edit's obviously...
that coquettish Ukrainian opera.
He's a great lover like that, isn't he? But, you know, World Edit's obviously still got the AWP.
Sure, yeah.
But this is what Markelov can do, and people forget this. He can put up these big numbers. It does happen once in a blue moon now, but when it happens, FlipSid are always in with a chance no matter who they're playing.
Just need to see it more often, and it comes down to that desire to want to be that star player again, because it doesn't seem like he wants to be it. He seems like he's very comfortable in his role as a little bit more passive, a little bit less of an impact. But when you could just, when he does do this, it's awesome to watch. I mean, this is what people, you know, I know Duncan, I know Anders, I know even Lurpus, we've all said, like, we wish Markelov would just come back to that star player and just start taking over games. This would be amazing to see. This would put FlipSid at a whole new level if they could have Markelov, you know, aiming for 35 kills per half, if he was actually going for it aggressively.
And some final thoughts about your man Markelov.
This is a guy who he can flip the switch and just be fantastic at that. So I'd like it if FlipSid would switch it up and maybe sometimes use him as an offer.
Had to get some wordplay in there today.
I know, I always do, don't I?
The wordplay levels have been low. Okay, well, let's...
I'll got word in my ear there.
Yeah, I'll let you take a rest. So anyway, thanks for that. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get into the second map in this series between FlipSid and mousesports. Make sure you join us.
I did.
So yes, welcome back to ELEAGUE. Our wonderful crowd are here. They've come to see some high-level Counter-Strike. Let's hope FlipSid and mousesports can deliver. We're partway through the series. We're about to go live on Cobblestone. So here we are then, gentlemen. Now this will bring some awful flashbacks.
Nightmares.
Yeah, that series was brutal at Columbus. But here's what I will say. Obviously, this is a very different Cobble because we are using the new one.
Yeah.
There's been some stairs added and all sorts. So it should add a new dynamic to this. Let's get some thoughts going about who we think's going to win and why.
I mean, unfortunately, I thought FlipSid would take Train. I think mousesports is going to be able to take Cobblestone, especially if Chris J's even at like half the level that he was at on Train. And even if he's just landing some pretty pedestrian shots, but just doing his job, they should be able to take Cobble.
Yeah, well, I mean, mousesports, this is a map we've seen them perform. Again, it's one of those, the series is kind of, in terms of where people are positioned to win, aren't they, Duncan? I mean, this is, as you saw from the stats there, neither team is like clear favourite.
Yeah. I mean, what we saw on Train, map that mousesports don't even play, they were still very competitive. FlipSid had their chances, couldn't close it out, maybe didn't have the firepower to do so. Cobble should be a more close affair. This should be a really, really 50-50 one. The problem is, I see it going one of two ways. Either it's another, like, slap down, drag them out, really close fought fight like this, which FlipSid could win. That's like the type of game they could win. Or I see mousesports running away with it. I think it's going to be one of those two. Like, I don't see a big win for FlipSid. So I'm going to say mousesports going to take this one.
So they're your predictions. So we've got mousesports and...
I have mousesports.
Mousesports, okay. You've done an about face. I like it. Well, thanks for your thoughts, gentlemen. Anyway, let's get into this one. We're going to bring you our map fly-through of the new look Cobblestone. And Anderson Semler will bring you the action.
All right, thank you very much, Richard. We're going to be getting into the second map now between mousesports and FlipSid, and now it's all a question of whether FlipSid are going to be able to get back into this game mentally, if Markelov can continue to deliver. Because right now, Markelov, he's given us the star performance. He has definitely stood out on the first map, but where was the rest of his team, Anders? What can we expect from him here on Cobblestone?
Yes, I don't know. I'm a bit worried. I feel like Train was probably their chance to do it. Cobblestone, I mean, this new edition, obviously, the stairwell that goes up there didn't used to be there. The arching wall sort of used to extend all the way into the castle wall. So now a bit different. I think Ment's supposed to be helping out the CT side. I'm not sure it does.
Yeah, I feel like we still need to see a little bit of play on it to really start getting an idea of just which side it, or like what it has actually created. But for now, at least on the CT side, you know, you can kind of dance up and around. You don't need to boost up there anymore, and so it can be good things. Markelov going to start things off strong. That's a good thing for FlipSid. Waylander also getting into the action. And between the two of them, they do manage to pick up 2 kills. But Nex is going to bring it back, and Markelov is down to 1 HP.
Yeah, and Shara, I think, maybe overextending a little bit there. Good job from Blade helping out. Markelov he just stay alive here. If they haven't used any grenades on him yet, they probably don't have any. So I would say just wait and let them use a lot of time and resources on worrying about this position. But Waylander coming in, picking up another kill for himself, and Speedy all on his own here, you know, 1-on-3.